Look, I love a good meet cute as much as the next romance lover, but the real engine of romance is not cute bickering and flirting or the stolen kisses. The real engine of a romance is hidden beneath the surface. It's the tension that arises between two powerful forces that keep your characters and your audience hooked until the very end. In this lesson, we're going to name those forces, break them down, and show you how to use them to fuel your romance from meet cute to happily ever after. I am Maggie Dallin, six-figure romance novelist turned produced screenwriter, and in lesson 2 of How to Write the Perfect Romance Script, we're talking about the hidden tension that makes or breaks your love story. Want versus need. By the end of this lesson, you'll know how to define your characters, what they want, what they actually need, and how this relates to the wounds we discussed in lesson 1. We'll also look at how the love story acts as a catalyst, and how the tension between the characters' wants versus needs can fuel an entire romance arc, from meet cute to happily ever after. We'll look at some examples of this in classic romance movies, and finally, we'll talk about how you can use this in your story to make it super satisfying. But first, let's take a second to talk about what romance really is. If you say, romance is a story, it's about two people falling in love and finding happily ever after, well, good news is you're right, mostly. The key, though, is that it's two flawed people growing and changing because they fall in love. And yes, it does lead to a happily ever after. But it's that transformation that's what gives your story emotion, conflict, and an arc. And the way we build that transformation into the bones of the story is through the push and pull between want and need. What do we mean when we say want versus need? Let's take them one at a time. Want, this is what the character thinks will make them happy. It's external, surface level, and it's shaped by the wound. That's super important. The character thinks that this is what will heal the wound or fill the hole, however you want to put it, and that's their mistaken belief. The need, that is what will actually heal them. It's internal, it's harder to face, and they need to reach it for a solid transformation to occur. You can think of it this way. The want drives the story forward, the need makes the ending satisfying. That's the tension, and it's the engine that powers your romance. Let's look at some examples of how this actually plays out. Okay, when Harry met Sally, I could talk about this movie all day long. And heads up, we're going to come back to this movie when we're talking about meet cutes and dark moments and how they relate to the wounds/flaws, because this movie is just, it's so great. But for today, let's just look at Harry and Sally's wants versus needs. Harry wants casual connection, no strings attached. What he needs is vulnerability and lasting intimacy. Sally wants control and perfection. She wants a guy who checks all the boxes. What she needs is to let go. She needs to risk letting go and to embrace love's messiness. Their clashing wants create tension, and it's their needs that pull them together. But yeah, it's those clashing wants that make the tension so great. It's how they push each other, challenge each other, and ultimately help each other get what they need. And that's what makes the ending so incredibly satisfying. Okay, next up, while you were sleeping, Lucy wants the fantasy of being a part of Peter's perfect family. What she needs is real connection with someone who truly sees her, right? And that's Jack. Jack wants to protect his family and keep the status quo. What he needs is to take a risk for his own happiness. What they want keeps them stuck, but what they need unlocks the real love story and helps them find true happiness. Last but not least, let's look at Set It Up. I love this one. Harper wants to survive her job by staying invisible and pleasing her boss. What she needs is the confidence to pursue her own ambition. Charlie wants a promotion and the flashy, wealth-obsessed lifestyle that comes with it. What he needs, though, that's the genuine, grounded connection that he finds with Harper ultimately in the end. In teaming up, their interactions force them to face what they actually need. Why does this matter for screenwriting? If your characters just get what they want, your story, it feels flat. It feels predictable. And honestly, there's no real conflict. But if they're forced to realize that their belief is wrong and that what they wanted won't heal their wound, that's also called their mistaken belief, then they're pushed to confront what they truly need. That is when the romance becomes unforgettable. Because now they don't just have the hots for each other, they actually make each other better. That's the difference between a meh romance and one that sticks with the audience. All right, here's your exercise for the week. For both your protagonists, write down their want, the thing that they think will make them happy, and their need, the truth, what will actually heal them. Next, let's write down how the clash of their flaws will force them to challenge their mistaken belief. Last, how does falling in love act as a catalyst for that transformation? If you're stumped on those last two, stick with me. In the next lesson, we're going to dive much deeper into the role of the love interest. They're not just there to be cute. They're the antagonist and the catalyst for change. That's lesson 3. Don't miss it. If you want to dive deeper, be sure to sign up for my free Substack newsletter at the link below. And if you have any favorite examples of want versus need done right, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see them.